Alright, nice. Let's get ready to go.
Let's talk all of them in order.
Yep.
That was it?
Hold on.
No.
Just wait. Let's talk Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, Roosevelt. No, hold on, give me a second. Hoover. Yeah, it's Roosevelt. Truman.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Yep.
Truman. Eisenhower. JFK. Johnson. Nixon. Ford. Carter. Reagan. Bush. Clinton. Bush. Obama. Trump.
Did you say Obama now?
Obama. Wow.
Obama now.
That took me all night.
Damn, dude.
You studied for that all night?
No, it took a half hour, but it was pretty
That's pretty
intense.
good.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
I had to keep practicing. I was doing it before bed.
Do the
Like I was praying.
Do the vice presidents.
Adams.
Are you seriously going to try?
I could go. I think I could
Here's
go
a good
decent.
piece of trivia, and don't look it up.
Nope.
Okay.
Here's a quiz question. Who is Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson's vice president after Kennedy was shot? Who became the vice president? Your mother's cunt.
Oh man.
It wasn't her.
It wasn't your mother. It was her cunt.
Her cum was a. Wait a second. This is a history podcast.
Yeah.
What if that was true?
You're telling me Jones cunt.
Yeah, because he only needed her for 1 year. And then
She's
when he
gonna be
ran
so excited. She's
then
gonna
when
be
he
so
ran,
excited to watch this.
then when he ran, he got somebody else. But he called out, Joan, I need your cunt to be my vice. He called her from Dallas. You know that famous picture of him on the plane?
That was.
He called her right before that. I need your vagina to be my president, my vice president.
All right, so let's start from the top. Mom, I'm so sorry that he said that.
I'm not. I never met your mom.
You held back. You held
Very
back.
sweet. She's
I
very
heard
sweet.
it.
Very
Your
sweet.
mom. All right, let's start with Washington.
Now
dude.
we're even.
Yeah.
Back again.
What do you guys know about him? What do you say?
I mean, Washington is
Never
like
lied.
a transitionary guy because he was so British. He was a British
Now
general.
we are
He wasn't
uneven.
like a,
Once again, I have the open
you know,
thoughts.
he wasn't born in the America. He didn't create America. It wasn't even his idea.
Yeah.
He was just a tool of. He was the first general president.
No, he was born in the U.S.
No, I know, but he wasn't like he was a Brit. He was a
Yeah, he
was
fought
a
in the
Brit.
French and Indian
Yeah.
War as a British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lord. Wasn't
He actually kind of sucked in that.
In that war,
In fact, also kind of.
everybody sucked in the wars. Though.
Everything he did was
It
retreating.
was luck to win anything. Then
Yeah. He was good at retreating. That was like his number one
it's an
thing.
important thing to be
Which
good
is
at.
very good in war. They don't
Otherwise,
teach
you
that.
lose once. He would fight again because he retreated so well.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight though. Show up and be like, nah, and
Yeah.
just run away and like, nice.
1789. That's when he started. All
Well,
right.
most of the guys, it was so hard. Like a lot of the army didn't want to be there and didn't have to be there. It's crazy. Like 1776, the year that Washington did all that insane shit. It's crazy that people kept expecting the army to flee,
Yeah.
but they hung in there with little. It's not like they were like, we're making America that's coming later.
Yeah.
They had no fucking idea. So he's as good as they were, basically. And it's not, like you picture him on this horse, like talking, but no, most of them didn't even look at the guy. They didn't see him. Like in the movies when they show a guy making a speech, to a whole army, and
Yeah,
there's
it's-
3 guys can hear
Yeah,
him.
it's impossible.
And the rest are like, what's even happening? And they're all shitting on
Yeah, it's
the
like
ground.
Braveheart
They're
when
all
he's giving his
dying of-
speech. The only
yeah.
people that can hear him are like,
Lost in
shut up.
peace.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
two dudes are like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
English are too many.
The English are too many.
Home.
Yes, we will, and we will live.
Yeah. We will live.
That's a good
All right.
point. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
No one heard those.
No one
speeches.
hears
No one heard
English.
any of their speeches, so it was really these guys all got together. I don't know. They
They
got
stood
together. They decided to just keep doing it.
Oh,
I don't want to spend too much time on Washington.
Yeah, Washington. I
He's
was
played
never
out.
that. I never really. I mean, the great thing he did was leaving when it was time to go.
Yeah.
It was like the thing because a lot of them wanted him to be king,
Yeah.
and a lot of them wanted him to be permanent. He's the one who said
It's
the
no.
thing where they wanted him to be. Adams
Yeah,
wanted
Adams.
him to be Your Majesty or Your
Yeah.
Excellency,
They went by His Excellency.
and he said, "Mr. President."
no.
What?
Jefferson was the first Mr. President.
Yeah, but Washington
Washington-
wanted Mr. President.
Washington went with His Excellency because Adams had this long one. His Majesty, all this shit.
what?
Washington
Hopefully
kept
he
His
can't-
Excellency.
According to the HBO series about John Adams,
Yeah, but I looked into it.
Washington said, "I want Mr. President."
Maybe he did, but he went by His Excellency. Therefore, the reason he did it was
Yeah, so
because
I
he
take-
didn't want to shake people's
takes-
hands. And back then, that
take-
kind
Because
of
he was like Howie
I
Mandel.
take-
yeah, he was like he'd rather just
He's a
have people
germaphobe?
bow. I don't think he was a germaphobe as much
Just
as he just was
one-
like
No, no,
this does
that
command
was-
some respect because this is the first time in his life he
Loser.
started to get criticism.
Really?
Because when he was a general, everybody globally
Mhm.
outside of England was like, "This guy's the fucking."
By the way,
man.
president. Like to talk about that word for a second,
Yeah.
what a president is. Like just an overall president thought here. What I love about presidents is that it's a human being, it's a person.
Yep.
And to me, like it's like like some college professors teach the Bible as literature. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like they don't teach the Bible as a religious subject. They teach it as like
God
what
bless America.
what it's done for history and what the stories are about, and that kind of thing. I look at U.S. presidents that way. I don't have a political view about any of them. I just
Yeah.
think they're fucking fascinating. And president, the word by itself, like your president is nothing. It's not. You're not a leader. You're not a ruler. You don't rule. You preside. I mean, that's literally what it means. Is that there's a whole group of people that are running the government by the people's will, and you
Are they
preside.
seriously
You just
monitoring that
happen to
change?
be there. It's like in the Senate. Whenever they show people in the Senate speaking, they always say "Mr. President" over and over again, and they're speaking to whoever is presiding. It's never the vice president is literally the president of the
Yeah.
Senate, but it's whoever takes the chair that day. Who's presiding? It's an incidental title given to an equal who is chosen for that minute to preside. That's what I like about it. That's what I like about how they framed it.
yeah. When did they set term limits? I didn't even look into that because he just left.
Right. He was the first one to go. I could stay,
I-
but I'm. Let's
He's
get
like,
this
"I'm done."
going. Let's get this started.
Yeah.
There's some famous moment where he was speaking to the Congress, and they were trying to get him to king himself. And he was apparently really vain about that he wore
Stinks,
glasses,
stinks.
so no one ever saw him with glasses on. And so the moment that's supposed to be this shocking moment was that he took out his glasses and put them on, and he said, like, "I fear I didn't see you for what you are." That was supposed to be this big moment. I like to think
It'd be
that
funny
if
if he
he
was
did,
dumb.
like, he was really hoping if he missed, he's like, "I fear I didn't see," and they're all like, "Yeah, you wore glasses. We all," you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like he keyed the whole thing on this moment. See what I'm saying? And they're like, "George,
Yeah. It's also a good moment for him to be like, "Yeah, you're right. You should not."
How
be
do you
king.
turn down
You're
king
trying to do
status,
funny
though?
jokes.
what?"
How do you turn down? Like,
That's what
you
makes
should
him
be
the
king, and you're like,
That's what makes
no.
him the man, dude.
That's wild, dude.
That's what makes him.
Well, also
like,
he wasn't. Again, none of these people knew the future. He didn't know that he was giving away the keys to later nuclear war America.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
He thought we were
But still,
a
it's the king of
dumb
a country.
fucking like what?
Yeah, and these were all
Yeah.
separate colonies.
Like
True, yeah.
if Louisiana became a separate nation, the first president of Louisiana might be like, "You guys, I'll do one term.
Yeah, I'm
It's
done.
good. I don't need to like hang in there."
all right,
So-
Adams.
Okay, Adams is like my favorite of those guys.
I
the
like
founding
Adams
fathers.
I like
dudes.
Adams from the show. I loved him in that. He was a great Paul Giamatti.
Well, I
As
read
a-
his biography. I listened to it. I don't read
As a
anything.
president,
Counts.
Oh, he was not a great president.
not at all.
It shows everybody's got these different kind of strengths. He was a great framer. He was one of the guys.
Yeah.
He did many very important and gutsy things, and he was also the only one of those guys who was not rich. He was a poor farmer. He was his education changed his life. He's like one of the first Americans who had that experience. Where
Yeah.
he was had a decent farm but not much. But he made his brain work. And he excelled and passed that on to his son, who we'll talk about.
He
John
fucking
Quince.
ruled in the revolution.
Yeah.
Adams was the man.
Adams
Trying to
was
stick
the
to
man,
his-
and because these other
Yeah.
guys, fucking Benjamin Franklin was just a giant perverted asshole.
I loved him.
Oh, he was great. And all these guys
Yeah.
are great. I'm not judging any of them, but he wasn't. He was of limited use because he was intrigued by America, but he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He never would have shed any blood or sweat or tears for the country. He just was interested, and he had a
True
huge
country.
brain. So he'd lend it
No,
when he
true
felt like.
American.
He was also full of shit. Like he was supposedly invented electricity, but some other guy, he saw a guy in his own autobiography.
What?
Hold
He
on
saw-
a second.
he
I
never
just watched
faked
the Ken
anything.
Burns on him. I'm pumped on him right now.
Okay, so he saw a guy do the kite,
What?
and he was like, "That's cool."
Sounds like
And he
fake news.
paid the guy for like the license to the gag, and he got one of his sons to do it, to go around doing it for money. It was just a thing that he picked up other people's ideas, which is its own
Well,
thing.
He also, all of his inventions, he would never patent, which
Really?
is pretty sick. He was like, all my inventions are for
Yeah.
everybody.
yeah, he was
Tight.
for what do you call it? Open source.
Open source.
But
yeah.
he did get a little jealous because all of a sudden, because he was the man.
Yeah.
He was the American that everybody loved.
Beef
And then Washington became the man.
the general.
Like the French were like,
Washington
the General Washington's the guy.
Well,
So
I
he got a
can't-
little.
Can't really argue.
He was a fame hungry.
Did you ever read his
Yeah.
autobiography?
No.
It's amazing because he has no judgment of himself. So he's the only, like, a lot of people that write autobiographies, it's kind of careful. But like he tells this story about he was living in London and there was a guy who worked for him, kind of like a half tradesman kind of
You get
guy
that motherfucker out.
who he befriended. And the guy had a woman he wanted to marry, a maiden, but he didn't have a position and he didn't have his own home yet. So, and his mother didn't want. I don't remember all the logistics, but it was that that he asked Benjamin if he could move his wife into his house so that they could marry, and he said sure. And he said, and she moved into my home, and then I took it of my pleasure to
Fucked her.
to partake of her sexually, and she spurned my advances, so I threw her out, and that was the end of their marriage. And I never saw him again. He was real upset, and I never saw him again. But I know both their lives were destroyed. And then in May, I met this other guy. Like
Yeah.
he just talks. He did awful things to people, and didn't
He
give a
kind
shit.
of, yeah. There's some pretty sick quotes about slavery too. That he was
Yeah.
like, I am racist. Like he was one of
Right.
the first, if not the only founding father to like constantly be like, I am bigoted.
Right.
None of them. Everyone else was like, this is the law.
Everybody was like, Ben,
Yeah, shut the.
this is
Yeah.
it's economics.
Yeah.
It's not.
Fuck
It's
this
not
up.
about
It's
race.
like something's
He's like, oh, it's
wrong.
totally about race.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were writing the Constitution like, look, our hands are tied. We can't do
Dude,
anything.
they had to
about
take it out.
We can't do
So
So he
anything.
was when he showed focus, he was of use to like the revolution.
Whatever.
And same with Jefferson. Jefferson was like a depressive fucking freak, and so he would just like leave Washington. He would just go like, my wife is dead, whatever bullshit. And he would get on his horse and just leave because also he was a man of great wealth and he had his life in Monticello and in
He was
Virginia
screwed. I
was.
got
We'll
that
get to him, but the point is that Adams was just
Nuts.
a doggedly hardworking. He was the only one who worked constantly,
yeah.
and it was really the three of them in
I
Madison.
love John
But
Quincy.
he was the
Adams.
guy who did the hardest work to get this shit started.
Yeah.
He also apologized for cursing.
Adams.
In one of his
Adams
things, he's like,
started-
I lament to admit that I sometimes cursed, which I feel shameful about.
Also, when Adams did did the Constitution of Massachusetts, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
Nope,
is like
no
the most
checkmate.
liberal document in the world. Because Adams was like, he's like, I'm going to get it right. Everything that I couldn't get done in the American Constitution, I'm doing in this. And there's stuff in there about Jews having rights. There's even something about gay people in there. Like he was into
What?
like
Wow.
gay rights, Jews.
Back
Pretty
then.
gay back then.
It's pretty gay, pretty Jewish.
It's gay to be a gay Jew.
It's gay to be into Jews.
Dude,
To be
those,
into Jewish rights in the 1700s was gay.
those parliaments must have been
Undeniably gay.
Undeniably
crazy
gay.
back then. Like, I don't know, what about Jews? People are like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
It's
what are
like,
you
come
talking
on,
about,
guys.
Jews?
Back then, have
Stop.
a room full of dude in powder wigs being like, boo.
Yeah.
Like,
And the Jews looked exactly they looked the same as they do now. The big black coats,
exact same outfits.
same outfit, same way.
It's got two queens.
Hold on, what Adams did while he was in office, he was worried that his logic was another country could just come take this at any moment. So he came up with the Alien and Sedition Act, which meant if you talk shit on the government, we can jail you.
Oh.
So he started arresting journalists. He started
Well,
immediately-
he was the first
That is
liberal
American.
who got befuddled by guys that back then it was another Democrat. It was Jefferson.
Yeah,
Going like whatever it takes to win.
yeah.
It's always been like the different parts of American democracy, the different kinds of people, the people who are like, we got to get this right. We got to sell our good ideas and convince people we're right. But then the other guys who are like, we just got to take office. We just need to win. And nerds lose that fight. Adams was
Yeah.
the first one-term nerd president. There's a few of them.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Bush the first
Nerds.
is another one
He's
to
a
me.
one-term guy. He was from 97 to 01.
Yep.
Let's move to Jefferson.
Jefferson.
He's number 3.
That's 01 to 09. He was a two-term guy. Adams was a Federalist. Washington was obviously independent. Jefferson was a Democratic Republican. He was the first Mr. President. Right when he got in, the French and the British started going to war. So everybody in
Double
America
attack.
was like, fuck England.
What,
Also,
rotate
France
you?
just helped us.
Yeah.
Fuck England. Let's join it. And he was the
Although he
only one-
loved the French. He loved the revolution in French.
Yeah, he did.
The Adams didn't because it was bloody and
And
horrible.
he didn't like the French.
He didn't, and Jefferson loved the revolution, and he had all his friends over there. He spent a lot of his life there.
Yeah. But Americans started being like, fuck England. Let's join France in the war. He was the only one with the foresight to be like, we have 40 guys in our military and 3 boats.
Yeah.
Let's shut the fuck up.
Was not.
So he declared neutrality, and everybody called him a pussy. Then England started blocking his like fucking ships. I think he might have been the one who said we're just not going to trade with either of them. So then the American economy just plummeted. England started just saying, if you're not trading with us, we're just going to confiscate your ships,
Gillis knows his
kidnap
shit.
all the sailors, make them join the British Navy. So he was
What?
getting punked by England.
You're talking about Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Well, it's interesting because Adams, what ended his presidency was a fake rumor that Jefferson started, that Adams was trying to start a war with and start a navy and do all this stuff, and it was all fake. But then it ended up kind of haunting Jefferson
Yeah.
because the truth about all that ended up fucking him a lot.
Huh.
One thing interesting about Jefferson is because he's so famous
Matt's
for
just
having
there,
had
just
a
like, huh,
slave and
whoa,
having had like 50,000 slaves,
Yeah.
or whatever that, not that many, and having
50,000.
children
not that
with his
many.
slave, and I don't think he ever even gave
He
her
didn't
her
free
freedom.
them.
Didn't free.
He didn't free the kids.
He didn't free a
Didn't free the
couple. I think he
kids,
freed a
didn't free
couple.
her.
of
freed 2,
Yeah.
and the rest he kept enslaved.